Interviewing out of London, England, across the pond, the uh, the Atlantic Ocean, the UK is in the house. I bring you these videos because I want to give you some Black history, and it crossed the whole diaspora: Africa, America, Europe, Caribbean, so on and so forth. We're going to have that for you here on Strong Inspirations. And in particular, today we're going to talk about something that I really don't know much about. It's not necessarily, it happens in America, but I'm gonna let him go in and tell you more about it. It's about the Rastafarian. And so introduce yourself, give us a little bit about your book. What is Rastafarian? What made you write this book?
Okay, a warm greetings, Anthony. Thank you very much for inviting me on this platform. My name, first of all, I'm going to introduce myself and then I'll go on to talk a little bit about my book.
Sure.
Now, my name is Sankofa, and that name is a unique name. Makonnen, that name is actually an Ethiopian name. So a little bit into my background is my mom's side of the family of Jamaican heritage. My dad was born and raised in Malawi in Southeast Africa. Yeah, so I've got a bit of a mix between African and Caribbean within me. Now, the name I chose, I actually legally changed my name to Makonnen Sankofa. Makonnen, I changed it to, as I became more Black conscious and I got into Rastafari. Makonnen is actually the name of Emperor Haile Selassie before he was crowned Emperor of Ethiopia in 1930. He was known as Rastafari Makonnen. So I adopted that name off of the name of Haile Selassie as someone that I've got great admiration for. The name Sankofa, or Sankofa as some Ghanaians will pronounce it, is actually from the Akan tribe in Ghana, and you may be familiar with the symbol, the picture of the bird looking backwards, which means to go back and fetch, or to go back and find your roots, study the past, look into history, and then use what you've learned to prosper and move forward in the future. It's definitely a philosophy and something that I believe in myself, and I follow that value. So that's why I adopted that name to become Makonnen Sankofa. So that's a bit about how I am, my name within itself, which is a story. In terms of myself, at the time of this interview, I am 30 years old. I'm currently in London. However, I have traveled, so I've lived in various different parts of England. I was actually living in the Gambia in 2018. I spent 6 months living in the Gambia, getting experience of Africa, connecting with people on the ground there. And also I did a lot of videos and vlogging whilst I was out in the Gambia with a lady called Juliet Ryan on a YouTube channel called Blacksit YouTube channel, which we showcased a lot of people's journeys who've also moved back onto the continent, and highlighted why they're back there, the importance of repatriation to Africa, and also what they're doing. Is it sustainable there? Many people have got businesses such as hotels, restaurants, shops. So we highlighted that, as well as talking to the local Gambians to get a feel of the everyday life of a Gambian in Gambia. I'm really a strong advocate for repatriation, myself being a Rastafarian and a Pan-African activist. I've been in the communities in England for about 7 years doing various different works. So I've been part of different organizations. I've recently set up something called the Black Books webinar. So in addition to being an author myself, which we're going to mainly discuss my book, The Rise of Rastafari, I have set up a platform for other authors of African Caribbean heritage who want to come on and share their own stories, because we've all got a story within ourselves. So other people have written books, and it may be about children's fiction, non-fiction, history. As long as they're African Caribbean heritage author, they can come on my platform and showcase their stories. It really was inspired by the idea of myself writing my book, The Rise of Rastafari.
Now, do you have a picture? Do you have a copy of the book to show us?
Yes, my book had.
Okay, so that's your book.
A picture of Haile Selassie on the front cover, who's almost
now let me stop you there. Is that the guy that Rastafari was found? Is it founded under his name?
It wasn't founded under his name.
But his name is Rastafari, right?
Rastafari. No, it wasn't. No, sorry. Let me correct it. Yes, it was named Rastafari off of his name, but Haile Selassie didn't found Rastafari himself.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Because he's not, Haile Selassie himself isn't a Rastafarian, but it is named after his name, Rastafari. which
Okay,
is the
is
name is held.
Rastafarian a religion? What is it? What is it?
Okay, so there's there's people that see Rastafari in different ways. It's got different sects, yeah, and
Okay.
different mansions, or people, what people might say mansions. So to some people it is, some people it isn't a religion. Myself, I do not see Rastafari as a religion. However, there are some that do. So what's very important, and the reason why I wrote the book, my book is called The Rise of Rastafari: Resistance, Redemption, and Repatriation, is because there's many different sects and different beliefs within Rastafari. So you have some Rastafarians who have dreadlocks, some who don't. Some Rastafarians who smoke ganja, some that don't. Some Rastafarians who see it as a religion and read the Bible, others that don't. Some that listen to reggae music, some that don't. Some that are vegetarian, some that don't. So there's many different branches. There's not just one that does everything the same.
I got
So
you. I
when
got
I use that analogy, is some people do see it as a religion and use reference to the Bible. However, there's some that do not see it as a religion, and don't use reference to the Bible, or do not perceive Haile Selassie as God, but give credence to the role that Haile Selassie played in terms of a crucial person in African Caribbean history at a pivotal time in our history. And I can go on and expand that for many different reasons.
I got you. Now, is Rastafarian, when did it originate? Is there a date or something like that where it kind of all began, and so on and so forth? And then also, how large is it, if they can chronicle some numbers? I mean, it's big here in America. Is it big everywhere in Africa? Is it big in London? Or just in the Caribbean? What's that story too?
Okay, so Rastafari, it actually really emerged in 1930 from the coronation of
1913.
the coronation of Emperor Haile Selassie. Emperor Haile Selassie was crowned Emperor of Ethiopia in 1930. At that time, it was significant because most people, particularly in the Caribbean, hadn't seen a black king or black monarch before. And you're talking about a time in colonial, where Africa, everywhere, all the countries in Africa, apart from Ethiopia, which is still not being colonized to this day, and Liberia, but Liberia was a previous British colony. All the other countries had been colonized, so
Okay.
it was very crucial at that time when Emperor Haile Selassie was crowned. Following the coronation of Haile Selassie, then you have people like Leonard Percival Howell, Joseph Hibbert, Robert Hines, Archibald Dunkley, that were coming out of, that were in Jamaica, and that they proclaimed this man Haile Selassie as the person that black people should look towards for their redemption. And some people look towards Haile Selassie as a redemption in more of in a spiritual way, in terms of leading black people back to the promised land, back to Africa, and being a guidance, and really from a more of a Pan-African aspect. Some people look at that redemption more biblically, but really came about from the coronation. They were in Jamaica, the early founders and followers of Rastafari, and Jamaica, in terms of, is a significant place because it's really where the inception of it began. Because although Haile Selassie was crowned Emperor of Ethiopia in Ethiopia, the significance of Jamaica is that you had, just like in America, many different Africans taken from the continent itself and dispersed into the Americas, places like the USA, places like Jamaica, and other parts of the Caribbean. Now, during that process, obviously, slaves were seasoned, and they were really forced to get rid of their culture, their language, their religion. Everything was effectively stripped and taken away from themselves. So even up until 1962, so even when slavery ended in the Caribbean, what you had was
Hold on, let me stop you
colonial
there. Slavery ended in the Caribbean when?
everything in the Caribbean in 1834, when it was legally ended. However, they went into 4 years of apprenticeship until 1838.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, but even after that period of slavery, what you still had is the mental chains, mental colonialism, which was still very much on the minds of people, and the inferiority complex of things black is bad, things African is
Sure.
backwards, and
Sure.
things white is good. So you had, up until 1962, Jamaica was a colony, still British colony. Some of my greatest leaders that I look up to when I've done my certainly getting into black consciousness, or even to this day, I mean, I've got great admiration for people such as Khalid Muhammad, Umar Johnson, other leaders that I've looked at, people like Louis Farrakhan, Ray Hagan's, So I've looked at obviously leaders, Malcolm X, that have inspired me, Claude Anderson, some of these people coming out of the States, some past and present, that have inspired me on my journey.
I got you.
Amos Wilson, another great person, Amos Wilson. So names are just coming out of my head now. So
Yeah.
these people as well have helped educate us about the experience in America from our own perspective. And it's important that we are telling our own stories, like my book, The Rise of Rastafari. It's about us telling our own stories rather than hearing a narrative from another set of people. But we are familiar with things in America. The Black Panther parties is very well documented here. I'm part of an organization actually called, was called Luton Black Men Community Group, and we had a member of the Black Panther Party who came to one of our events and spoke about the Black Panthers.
Okay, I got you.
So, but it depends on who you're speaking to, because everyone's level of consciousness is different. So I don't reflect everyone in England. So it definitely depends. But we do have awareness of the experience in America.
Now, I've been to London a couple of times, and I didn't get the impression that Black people in London can excel like they can here in America, though. I mean, you won't have. It'd be hard pressed. I mean, we were surprised that we had a Black president, but I don't know if you all in London can excel like that or run a big Fortune 500 company. Am I correct on that? That they don't have Black people can aspire that high?
You know, I had a conversation very similar to this with my mother recently, about maybe a week, 2 weeks ago, and like what you've mentioned, I feel a similar way in England. Even though what's happened in America, has been very, very brutal in terms of the Black experience. However, Black Americans, I know I've got family in America. I'm in contact with the work that I do, Black Americans like yourself, all the time. The bar seems set in England where Black people, it's here and they can't achieve here. Whereas in America, you can go to Atlanta, you can go to other places, and you can see thriving Black millionaires.
Yeah,
Black
exactly.
Black
Yeah,
businesses.
right.
And even Black Americans I know that have come to England and they've been like, well, in America, yes, there's racism and this, that, and the other, but at the end of the day,
yes,
Black people are achievers. I have an uncle that lives in America. He lives in Orange County, and he's got a business, and he employs so many. He must employ over 50 people before he sold his business on, and that would have been generating millions of pounds. But that kind of business and that kind of level, I couldn't see that in England, and it's very true. It's like in England, I feel that I know is that Black people, there is definitely a cap on the bar, and it seems that we're not excelling as much as over in England as you guys are there in America, despite obviously the fact that you've gone through Jim Crow and what you've been through over there. I think maybe part of a reason for it may be the fact that actually we have been so integrated in society in England as opposed to how you are in America. So you can go to parts of America like Atlanta, specific parts of Atlanta which are mainly Black communities, whereas in England the majority that we have of places of might be in the 40% Black, but most places are even smaller in numbers. So
I got you.
The fact that we're integrating works very much to our disadvantage, because it means that we're in environments and we're always going externally for our services, externally for businesses. Basically, all the big corporations, everything is external for our services. Whereas when we have a society of our own, it means that we are using our own products, we are using our own businesses, we are using things ourselves.
I got you. So as we kind of conclude, your book, can I get it here? I mean, can we bring it to America? That's what I would like to help. So do you have a website? Is it on Amazon? What's the story with your book?
Yeah, so my book, the Rise of Rastafari, it is on Amazon. That's probably the best place to go if you're in America.
It's on Amazon in America?
Yes, Amazon USA or
Okay.
That's where to get it from. I'm in contact with a lot of people in America. I said I do have people from America on my Black Books webinars platform. And I do contact people in America. So it is out there in America, but I would definitely like to get it even out.
Sure.
Possible.
Sure. Okay. Well, hey, we're going to talk a little bit, offline, so to speak. But I really appreciate you coming on. This has been a real, joy to have you to know that people across the world, such as yourself, I even got contacted out of somebody out of Australia, is kind of following and watching what I'm doing. And what I'm doing, as you know, is this book. It's a Black business book. It's over 200 facts on the rise of Black business in America. W.E.B. Du Bois is mentioned in the book, and it's on Amazon, so on and so forth. If you like this video, hit the like button, hit the notifications button, subscribe, because I'm telling you, I'm coming at you strong across the world. Because now with the digital divide, it can happen. Final words.
The final words would just be thank you for having me, and for people, I would say to if you're interested, get a copy of the book Rise of Rastafari. I haven't said exactly this so far, but I just wanted to highlight that it tackles a lot of the misconceptions that people have about Rastafari, and also it defines what it is, which is Rastafari is a Pan-African movement that is aimed to empower Black people politically, spiritually, economically,
I like that.
socially.
I like that. Thank you so very much for coming on the channel. I appreciate it. Stay safe over there. Stay strong. Stay well. Keep fighting your fight. We fighting it together across the divide, across the pond. Thank you so very much for being on Strong Inspirations. Have a great day.
Thank you.